Hello, my savvy sewists. My name is Heather and welcome once again to the Mythrose channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about fast fashion, what it is, why it's a problem, and how you can avoid it.
Oh, I got you, there's no reason to chasing pavement on my own, 'cause you're here to stay every night and day.
Fast fashion, by definition, is inexpensive clothing produced rapidly by mass market retailers in response to the latest trends. Basically, it's the junk food of the clothing world. Quantity over quality. Fast fashion is decidedly not haute couture or high-end exclusive brands. They have their own set of problems, but it's not what we're talking about now. Two of the hallmarks of fast fashion are low quality and high quantity. They use lower quality materials and lower quality workmanship, giving their workers very little time to make one piece and working in poor conditions for poor pay, usually, and putting out more and more seasons per year. They're basically the worst the fashion industry has to offer. The fast fashion industry is responsible for more than its share of environmental degradation, from overconsumption, ignoring best practices, and operating in countries where laws and regulations are lax. They exploit their workers socially with low pay and poor conditions, and they manipulate consumers with perceived and planned obsolescence. So what is planned and perceived obsolescence? Well, obsolescence is when something becomes obsolete. Either it's broken and can't be fixed, or it's no longer useful because technology has moved on. For example, a regular calculator is obsolete these days because most people have a calculator in their phone. Planned obsolescence is when a product is made with an artificially limited useful lifetime. For example, when clothing is made to wear out quickly. And perceived obsolescence is when you, the consumer, are convinced to buy a newer or updated version of what you already own. For example, when you buy a trendy new outfit at a fast fashion brand and a couple weeks later they have a slightly different version or something totally new released, and you want that. Some numbers. The fast fashion industry exploded in the year 2000. And between 2000 and 2004, the number of garments produced worldwide doubled. It was found that between 2000 and 2014, the average person's wardrobe grew by 60%. Since then, we use our clothes half as long, and one study found that in Germany, 40% of the average person's wardrobe was never used. Because of all this new stuff, the used clothing trade has ballooned to 4.3 million tons a year. That's 4.3 million tons of clothing that got recycled. That's not counting all the clothing that went to the landfill. Inditex is one of the companies that has pioneered the fast fashion industry. It is the biggest fashion company in the world and can go from concept to piece on shelf in 15 days. That used to take a couple months. You've probably never heard of Inditex, but I bet you have heard of Zara, which is one of their biggest brands. Another way fast fashion has affected the fashion industry is seasons. It used to be back when department stores were first starting out. There was 2 seasons in a year. Spring, summer for warm weather clothes and fall, winter for cold weather clothes. Now some of these brands have up to 50+ seasons a year. That's almost every week coming out with new clothes, making you think you need to buy more and more. So how can you keep buying the clothes you need and avoiding fast fashion? Number 1, buy less clothing. Number 2, buy slow fashion. Slow fashion brands are basically the exact opposite of fast fashion. They're quality over quantity, using more eco-friendly products and practices with more skilled workers who are better paid in better environments. They also have different takes on seasons. Do less seasons, or they might not do seasons at all. A lot of these fashion brands exist online, so people all over the world can buy them. That means some of their customers are in winter and some of their customers are in summer at the same time. So the concept of seasons is challenged. Another way slow fashion and fast fashion brands will differ is cut. Do they cut to stock or do they cut to order? Cut to stock is when you project how many sales you'll make of a particular piece and make that many. But a lot of these pieces often end up as dead stock, which they then sell to the used clothing market or sometimes trash or burn. Cut to order, as you've probably guessed by now, is making things as they're ordered. Cut to order does not result in dead stock of clothing pieces. It can result in dead stock of fabric, but that can easily be incorporated into another season. I propose an even slower fashion, making your own clothes. I don't believe we can save the planet by consuming more, and making your own clothing will force you to slow down and think about what you're doing. You'll consume less and you'll care a lot more about each piece, taking better care of it, making it last longer, creating less need to consume more. And who knows, you might enjoy it. It could be a really fun hobby for you. It's a very intentional and mindful practice, and I think it's a great way to combat the mindless consumption of retail therapy. You'll have more freedom to express yourself. Making your own clothes allows you to choose the style, the type of fabric, the print, any alterations you want to make to any patterns you may be using, any embellishments you want to add. You can really use fashion to express yourself. And I think that's the best thing about fashion. You get a great sense of accomplishment every time you finish a project. And I really believe that making your own clothing can promote body awareness and body positivity. I will be selling pattern blocks and original patterns on my website, mythrose.com. All of my patterns and pattern blocks will be available in custom size. Why do I think that's important? There's nothing worse than going to the mall, trying on a million different things, and none of them fit. That's the day I feel the worst about my body. When I make something that's tailored specifically to my measurements and fits me really well, I feel great. You don't have to be perfect. I'm not expecting you to go out and start making all of your clothes. Make one or two things, something really simple. Do some experimenting. Foster an appreciation for what goes into making a piece of clothing. Supplement with store-bought things, but think about what kinds of brands you're supporting, if you really need it, and can you get it secondhand. So, were you aware of the fast fashion problem before you saw this video? If so, how long have you been and what have you been doing about it? Let us know in the comments. If you just heard about it now, let me know in the comments what you'd like to do about it in the future. Subscribe to the Mythrose channel for more discussions, tutorials, and inspiration. And let me know if you liked this video by clicking the button. Thanks for watching, and sew you later.